Happy Sunday, everyone, and you're about to find out what happened on the date of April the 15th of 2023 as part of two long Didn't Scrolls daily episodes for news on whatever happened on the previous day. Get your daily news fix every day quickly and without hassle, without the endless newsfeed doom scrolling and clicking on every individual news story. Strap in, for it's our 86th episode.
The nightmare scenario many have feared has come to be.
We start the events of this day in the country of Sudan, which is now undergoing a major nationwide crisis. On the day of the April 13th of 2023, the Sudanese paramilitary group called the Rapid Support Forces, or RSF, a force 100,000 members strong, announced they would begin countrywide mobilizations. The RSF was originally brought into existence by the Sudanese government in 2013 to band together Janjaweed militias, Sudanese Arab militant groups, to fight off anti-government insurgents in the war in Darfur. The alliance between the Sudanese government and RSF began to significantly falter after the 2021 coup d'etat, which installed a military junta in charge of the country, in which both the Sudanese military and RSF participated in. RSF leader Mohamed Hamdan Dagalo later said he regrets the RSF's involvement in the coup and supports Sudan's transition back to democracy, which was interrupted by the coup, and has expressed his disapproval at the Sudanese military junta's attempts to integrate the RSF into its military. Tensions thus came to a head on this day, as RSF forces began attacking several military camps, the country's presidential palace, the Khartoum International Airport, and more locations across the country. The RSF has claimed to have captured the latter two locations, which the junta denies. In these recent and jumbled clashes, around 50 civilians have been killed in the crossfire, and the capital city of Khartoum is now in total chaos. Neighboring Chad is closest border with Sudan, as countries around the world call for a de-escalation of violence. The Reuters news agency has described these recent clashes as part of a coup attempt. In the country,
riot police struggled to contain protesters, some of whom set fires.
In France, unrest, protests, and riots continue to rage on across the country and in its largest cities as the new pension reform bill, which would raise France's retirement age from 62 to 64, continues going ahead despite nationwide opposition. What was particularly a point of contention was French President Emmanuel Macron's shirking of regular legislative processes by invoking a constitutional amendment to bypass getting its approval from the French National Assembly. Workers and critics across the nation lambasted the move as unconstitutional and unprecedented for the country's democracy, leading to nationwide unrest attempting to get the bill shot down. Macron's government has stated, however, that such a bill is necessary to avoid the country from going into a deficit in the next few years. Such protests will likely intensify in the coming few days, as of the day of recording, the pension reform bill has officially and definitively been signed into law. Demonstrators have not let up their efforts, however, as in the capital of Paris, bikes, scooters, street furniture, and garbage were set ablaze overnight, and workers have continued imploring Macron to withdraw the bill. Many of the protests across the country drew crowds of millions, and hundreds of arrests have been made. In the country of Japan, at a venue in the city of Wakayama, the country's Prime Minister, Fumio Kishida, has just been involved in an attack on his person. While giving a speech, a man was observed throwing a small cylinder and what appeared to be a smoke bomb at the Prime Minister, creating an explosion-like sound. The venue and the Prime Minister were immediately evacuated from the vicinity as security guards apprehended the suspect. Kishida was reported to have been unharmed. A motive has yet to have been defined for the attack, though some compared the attack to the assassination of former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe while giving a campaign speech. Meanwhile, at the Vandenberg Space Force base in the American state of California, the African nation of Kenya has just made one of its first steps into the vastness of space with the launch of its first satellite, the Taifa 1. The satellite was launched as one of SpaceX's Falcon 9 Block 5 rockets, and will be sent into orbit to collect environmental data on droughts, floods, and wildfires. In the country of Germany, the country's denuclearization process has, as of the recording, been completed. But this denuclearization process does not involve weaponry, but power plants. Since the year 2011, the German government has made a move to shut down all of its nuclear power plants by the year 2022, citing safety concerns held by the public after major nuclear incidents like the Chernobyl nuclear power plant disaster in 1986 and the Fukushima disaster in Japan in 2011, and the growing anti-nuclear movement across the country. Germany's 17 nuclear power stations were then shut down one by one since, and as of the day of recording, the last 3 stations still standing have been fully phased out after delays in energy imports due to the Russian invasion of Ukraine, making Germany no longer powered by nuclear energy. In other news, the strike at the Rutgers University in the American state of New Jersey has ended after an agreement between unions and employers, bringing educational service back to a population of 67,000 students and 9,000 staff, and Equatorial Guinea has reported 6 more cases of the Marburg virus, bringing the total cases in the country to 15. By the way, if you live in the United States of America and rely on the National Weather Service's Twitter account to provide live updates on weather situations and natural disasters, please be aware that Twitter has begun limiting the number of automated messages that can be sent from such accounts. The NWS has urged its users to find other means and programs to provide periodical weather updates.